To save the time, I will not read the program. Most respected Sri Vesabekili, IS Agriculture Production Commissioner, Government of Nagaland, respected Sri Sanazonino, Director of Agriculture, additional directors, officers from the Directorate of Agriculture, DO and SDOs from different districts, JTA and officer from Agri Expo, resource person from RSTO and IIOPR, media friends, and everyone present here. On behalf of the Department of Agriculture, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this special workshop on sustainable oil palm cultivation in Nagaland, challenges and opportunities. As we all know, oil palm is a crucial crop offering significant economic benefits and contributing to the growth of our local communities. This workshop is designed to provide you with the latest knowledge and practical skills on sustainable oil palm, focusing on topics such as improved planting techniques and contextual comparison, myths, realities, and sustainable pathways. Today's workshop will be a collaborative learning experience. We have a diverse group of experts who will share their insights and experiences. I therefore encourage you all to participate actively and share your experiences and learn from the experts who will be presenting today. Let's make this workshop a resounding success of a valuable and experience for all involved. Thank you, and I look forward to an engaging and productive day.
First of all, I want to convey my warm welcome to all the participants here. Actually, our NPC been engaged in many episodes, but in spite of all this, he spared his time to be here in our midst. I want to welcome him to our today's workshop. I want to convey my warm welcome to all the resource persons from different institutes. To cut it short, I'll not name it all, but I welcome you all to Nagaland and share your views, your thoughts, your knowledge to impart our farmers for the betterment of this Naga society, Naga farmers, especially the oil palm farmers. As I said, I also welcome the officers and staff from various establishments in the different districts dealing with this oil palm plantation. Most importantly, I want to welcome the stakeholders and farmers. Farmers Kimanjo na hiyase, apni thanke warmly welcome brigade hiyase. Apni kan na hilya mikang workshop to minin na thakibo, tolibi. Apni kan thakapura itu success hobo, ini ka bangna de hiyase. Ahapura sob ke jana khushi jana hiyase. here, during this welcome address, I just want to cite a few things how this oil palm came to Nagaland. Actually, this oil palm cultivation in the state was initiated during 2015 and 16, covering the foothill areas as an objective to replace low-value crop for the benefit of small and marginal farmers. Initially, saplings were issued to interested farmers across the state, mostly in the foothill areas. The state is targeted about 15,000 hectares for these 5 years, 2021 to 2025-26, for the cultivation of oil palm in a cluster approach, in a sustainable manner, in the hugely potential foothill areas of the state, without disturbing the natural forests, including biodiversity. We have divided into 2 zones. First zone is comprises of Beren, Dimapur, Newland, and Woka districts. And zone 2 comprises of Mokochun, Longland, and Mon district. It's as I said, it's been cultivated without disturbing the natural forest, including biodiversity, wherein a regulatory framework of oil palm Act will also be planned out 300 kilometers, will be a lifeline for connectivity and can cover more cultivable areas. As per the reports in the state, now we have 6,053 hectares spread across the state, out of which 1,126.91 hectares area are fruit-bearing stage. A memorandum have been made, memorandum of understanding have been made and signed between the state government and the British Hydromet Private Limited during January 2023, comprising of for the development of an area expansion of oil palm area and processing zone for zone 1, that is Beren, Sungidima, Dimapur, Newland, and Woka districts. And zone 2 is with the Patanjali Food Limited, formerly known as Ruchi Soya Industries Limited. Then these areas will cover the Mokochun, Longland, and Mon district in the state, under the National Mission on Edible Oils, oil palm. It is a burning desire of the state to create employment opportunities. The cultivation of oil palm as a high value crop with higher economic returns per hectare with viability gap funding offered by the Government of India under NMEOP. It will be therefore with boon to the subsistence farmers in comparison to growing oilseeds and plantation crops. We have established 2 nurseries, one at Tuli and another one at Newland. Another 2 nurseries are in the process to be set up in Tizid and Sungidima. Till today, a buyback of around 200 NT of FFBs have been completed by both the implementing partners. As we have covered around 630 hectares of plantation during 2024-25. The plantation for 25-26 has commenced from the months of May this month. It is the desire of the state to create employment opportunities, as we have faced a huge unemployment problem in the state. The cultivation of oil palm as a high-value crop with higher economic returns per hectare with viability gap funding offered by the Government of India under NMEO oil palm will therefore be a boom to the subsistence farmers in comparison to growing other oilseeds and plantation crops. Lastly, once again, I welcome all the participants here and to this important workshop and wish this workshop be a fruitful and beneficial to all the oil palm farmers and to uplift our socio-economic status. Once again, thank you all for this opportunity.
I'll take a brief moment to set the context why we are organizing this workshop. So I'll start with the history of NMEO. So lately, a lot of misgivings in the social media and personal campaign against oil palm cultivation in the states, citing environmental concerns and all. We duly appreciate and acknowledge the legitimate concerns of environmentalists and several NGOs regarding the environmental sustainability issues. Therefore, they mention also about that Agriculture Department is implementing this scheme only to avail centrally sponsored schemes under this NMEO oil palm. So, to begin with, as our director already mentioned, we started cultivation in the year 2014-15 as a pilot, on a pilot project basis with a small scheme, NMOOP and then NFSM and several other schemes. This push, the big push was given by our Prime Minister under this National Mission on Edible Oil Palm in the year 2021. The first phase of the program starts from 2021 to 2025-26. So, two projects in India were the pet projects of our Prime Minister. The first is the JJM, or Jal Jeevan Mission. The other one is the NMEO-OP. So, we used to receive funds through escrow account initially. So, two projects, special status to receive funds through escrow account in Nagaland, in other parts of India is JJM and this oil palm mission. So that much importance was given to this oil palm mission to achieve our requirement for edible oil. However, because there were many concerns regarding this oil palm by environmentalists and other groups, the government of Nagaland, our former APC and all, we did not sign the MOU for this VGP immediately, because to implement this program, we needed to sign the MOU with the ministry, especially on VGP, viability gap payment. So the program started in 2021, but after careful study only, the benefits it will accrue to our farmers and the economic upliftment of our rural people, and of course other progressive farmers also. After considering for 2 years, we signed the MOU only in the year 2023. So, people cannot say that we are just implementing this to use the central funds. We have studied thoroughly, only after that we have signed the NMEO program. So, the real expansion, actual expansion actually will begin this year only, after we put the systems into place like the buyback, the signing with MOU, engaging the private companies, our implementing partners, and of course the nursery. The actual expansion will start only this year. And regarding funds, we have not used the allocated fund to us in the past 2 years because of our slow expansion and being careful. We have just received 1-2 installment last year, and this year we have not even received even one installment. So I'm just citing these reasons just to make a point that we are not there for the use the central funds. We acknowledge the legitimate concerns of other environmental groups, and we are trying our best to achieve a fine balance between ecological sustainability and livelihood and development issues. Any agricultural development will definitely encroach on the jungles and the forest. But in any case, we cannot just stop our cultivation or prevent any economic activities under agriculture and allied activities just to preserve our forests and all. Since time immemorial, we have been indulging in this activity especially through June cultivation. Now, we wanted to issue two main basic issues. The first one is many activists and social media we call keyboard warriors, and of course with due respect we call them Google scientists. They read the stories from Indonesia and Malaysia and they compare it with the story of Nagaland or Northeast or India. So the story from Indonesia and Malaysia is different. There, the companies, they themselves, even a single company is managing 5 lakh, around average 5 lakh hectares. Whereas the total cultivation area in India is only around 4 lakh hectares till now. So they have destroyed a large, vast area of equatorial forest. So naturally, flora and fauna and a lot of greenhouse gases were emitted. So environmental groups in Europe and all, they flagged the issue. And with the initiatives of World Wildlife Fund, the Malaysian Oil Palm Association, Unilever, and some other environmental groups, they started this organization called Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil. It is a non-profit, started in 2004 in Switzerland, and now they certify sustainable palm oil cultivations across the value chain, including the processors, the producers, the marketing, and the other in the chain. So, to address this issue, that their story and our narratives are different, we have invited Sri Ashwin Selvaraj, who is here today with us. He is the marketing head for India and China, based in Chennai. So we will hear from the horse's mouth how they certify, how they give certification for sustainable palm oil cultivation. Their products are comfortably sold in Europe and other markets because of the certification process. It's a non-profit organization and independent audit companies, they audit and certify those oil palm plantations. And next, the second issue is about agronomic aspects. Like that oil palm is a huge water guzzler, that it destroys the soil, the environment, and it creates a lot of residues, leaves a lot of residues, pesticides and fertilizer residues in the oil palm plantations. So we do not fully deny that also. But many have just, as you can see in various YouTubes and other social media platforms, that they are just, citing many scientific facts without evidences. So today we have engaged the Indian Institute of Oil Palm Research, the premier organization in India, who are involved in research on these various aspects. So after a very difficult correspondence, they could finally make it this time. So we have Dr. Manorama and Dr. Ravichandran. One scientist will be coming on Sunday to visit for establishment of seed garden. And so we will hear from the horse's mouth the scientific facts. So we have invited individuals, NGOs, government officials, retired government officials also, so that whoever present today will be our ambassador to spread the message, the scientific facts about oil palm. With these few words, I wish all the participants a very engaging day, and I hope all present here will be benefited. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Many thanks to the Agri department from Nagaland for inviting us and for organizing this. And once again, a very warm welcome to all of you here. It's an absolute pleasure for us to be here and share some of our experiences and what we see around the world on sustainable palm oil. My first interaction with palm oil was back in 2011. I was working in the coffee sector back in Netherlands, and was dealing with sustainability also in the coffee and cocoa sector. When I first encountered oil palm then, just by news and hearsay, I also was a skeptic. I was also very skeptical about oil palm, because when you hear what's happened, when you just see the news, you only see a lot of issues around oil palm. So I was also a skeptic then. And my first trip to an oil palm plantation was in 2012 and 2013, so 2 years consecutively. And that's when you realize what's happening on the ground. So oil palm usually is painted with a black brush, black paint. But when you go on the ground, you see it's just people like us, farmers and workers working on the plantation and trying to make a livelihood out of it. So I started interacting and working with the oil palm sector back in 2012, and now it's almost like 13 years that I've been working in the oil palm, sustainable oil palm space. And I've had the privilege of working in Europe and then also in Southeast Asia, working with a lot of small-scale farmers and trying to improve their livelihood and change their practices. I've taken up this position within the RSPO, focusing on India and China for the last couple of years. So it's been an interesting and inspiring journey to see how we can also make palm oil that is produced in India in a sustainable manner. We are very different from the rest of the world, and I'll share some of that as we go along. If you go to the first slide. So, before we get into oil palm, can I get a show of hands? How many of you interacted or consumed oil palm today? Palm oil today? Yeah? Okay. A few people raised their hands, but if you click next, and some of you are probably still digesting your snacks and tea. But invariably, almost everybody in the room, if you had brushed your teeth in the morning, you would have interacted with oil palm. Because palm oil is pretty much present in every commodity that we use, and we use palm oil throughout the day. That is just an infographic that describes the use of palm oil across different products, starting from toothpaste, our soaps, our detergents, food that we eat, ice creams, chocolates, and yeah, it's pretty much in every commodity that you can think of. Go to the next slide. So what is palm oil? Why is it so used? So let's try to understand a bit of what it is. You can go to the next slide. So palm oil is an edible vegetable oil derived from the fruit of the oil palm. It's not a tree. Our scientists will correct me there, but it's not a tree, it's an oil palm. Scientifically known as, I cannot pronounce it, Elais guineensis. It's highly versatile. As I mentioned, it's used across a wide variety of applications. It's a native of West Africa, and it has been commercialized in the rest of the world, but origins from West Africa. And you see a couple of photos there. The one on the top right is basically a female farmer trying to process and extract palm oil in a small farm in West Africa. Not many people may be familiar with it. I was also not aware until I went to West Africa in Ghana and Nigeria and saw it firsthand. Palm oil is just part of their food there. Just like how in Kerala we use coconut oil, in other parts we use different oils. Palm oil is a native crop. So they just process it in artisanal mills, they just boil it and then they produce it. And they extract red palm oil. The photo below is basically red palm oil that is consumed raw as it is. It's like your olive oil that we use. Without processing, they consume red palm oil in West Africa. A lot of West African dishes are cooked in red palm oil, and it's highly nutritious. It's a highly nutritious product, and it's if you try it in Africa, you will see a lot of people selling palm oil along the roads in small cans and bottles. So it is a crop that is naturally occurring. It is native to West Africa. It has been consumed by people for many centuries. If you go to the next slide. So why is it so popular? Palm oil is, as I mentioned, it is used in a wide variety of products, food and non-food applications. And it's important to note that palm oil has the highest yield when it compared to other edible oils. So the land required to produce one ton of palm oil is 0.26 hectares. Whereas if you have to produce 1 ton of soybean oil, you need 2 hectares. So it's almost 4 times or 8 times. It's 8 times the amount of land that you need. So from a land use efficiency point of view, palm oil is one of the best crops that we can think of when it comes to oil crops. Right? So that is also why it is extremely popular, because it's very efficient. With limited amount of land, you can produce more oil, limited resources. So from a sustainability point of view, purely from a land use efficiency, it's a highly efficient crop. And it is also used widely because it's also produced widely because there is a lot of demand for both food, non-food, and all kinds of applications. So that is basically why palm oil is popular. And when we look at this is an infographic, there's a lot of numbers there. But if you want to simplify, this is just from a report that was published by IUCN, the International Union for Conservation. It's a UN organization that looks at conserving biodiversity and wildlife and all of that. So they did a very detailed study on edible oils and how is the edible oil market evolving, what is the resource use of different edible oils. And this is just showing how much of land is actually under oil palm cultivation. So if you look at the total land that is under oil palm under oil crops, it's 540 million hectares, of which palm oil is only occupying less than 30 million hectares. So it's only 5.3% of the total land that produces all our oils. You look at corn oil, you look at soybean, you look at different crops. Only 5.3% of the land is currently used by palm oil, but palm oil yields almost 70 million. The current production is almost 70 million tons. So I'm saying all of this just to set the context, because when we talk about palm oil, it's also important to understand where is it produced, how much of land and resources are currently under palm oil cultivation. So it is clear that only 5% of land of oil crop land is under oil palm cultivation, less than 30 million hectares globally. Go to the next slide. Having said that, with just a little amount of land that is used for oil palm cultivation, why does it get so much bad press? The moment you open Google and search, you will see a lot of headlines. I mean, these are some of the headlines we have seen in the past. But why is a crop that is highly productive, a crop that only occupies 5% of the oil crop land, why does it get so much bad press? So if you go to the next slide, it's important to understand that there has been some level of deforestation in the past. Palm oil has always been associated with a major driver of deforestation. But if you
Now let us see how we are cultivating our oil palm in Indian conditions, and what are our recommendations and how farmers are following those recommendations. Yeah. First slide please. So if we look at the global level, nearly in 49 countries oil palm is being cultivated. And the majority of the area is lying in Southeast Asia, especially in Southeast Asian conditions. It is in Malaysia and Indonesia, followed by Africa and America. In total, in 3 continents. So in 3 continents it is being grown, and around 24 million hectares, the global area, it is under oil palm. And the production is at 77 million metric tons. So the majority area lies in Southeast Asia, 18.69 million hectares, followed by South America, West Africa, Central America, Central Africa and the Pacific area. If we look at this area, around 5.5% of the global vegetable oil acreage is occupied by oil palm. Whereas the production, if we see, it is 32%. That means the global supply of oils and fats, around 32% is contributed by palm oil.